Hey friends, this is Bobby Shanks with Shanks Realty Group, and this is another episode of Kitchen Talk. Okay, so fair warning real quick. This particular episode might be long because I'm going to get very nitty-gritty on a very specific real estate sales scenario that happened to myself and one of my clients here recently, and it was miserable. And I want to share it with you so that you can see just how complex situations can become in today's crazy market. All right, so let me start from the beginning. I listed this home for sale in the local market, and we listed it maybe just a little under fair market value because we wanted to make sure that we were correctly sending and strategically sending a message to the public that we were looking for multiple offers and we were looking for buyers to take an opportunity to show us their absolute best offers. And that's exactly what happened. Now, we accepted an offer out of just shy of 20 offers. And one of the conditions about this particular buyer's offer that was so attractive to us was they waived their appraisal rider. So this particular buyer was putting 50% of the home's purchase price as part of their down payment, which means the additional 50% they were making up with a home loan. And there was no concern whatsoever that the home would not appraise for half of the purchase price so that they could get their loan. So to make their offer really attractive to my seller, they waived their appraisal rider. Now, they also told us in contract, which we agreed to, that they would not be asking us for any inspection repairs, but they did want to be able to have the ability to do an inspection, and at the conclusion of that inspection period, they would be able to say, okay, we're good, we're ready to move forward, or we're out, sorry, and goodbye. So we were okay with those terms and we accepted that. All right, so now a couple weeks goes by. Now mind you, hot market, house is now off the market, which means, I'm sure you could guess, if you watch real estate at all, when a house goes under contract and then comes back on the market, a lot of people look at it and go, what's wrong? So it's kind of like a black eye. So once your house goes under contract, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing everything you can as a seller, as a buyer, buyer's agent, and me as a listing broker to make sure that it stays under contract and gets to closing. So the house is off the market now for a couple weeks. The buyer does inspections. Now mind you, they said at the conclusion of inspections, we're going to accept the property or reject the property. We're not going to ask for anything. Well, guess what? Regardless of what the contract said, they changed the rules. And they came to us and said, we reject the property, and they even gave us a mutual release. Like, they were serious. They were walking away. But if you want to, here are the things we would ask to be repaired. So you can kind of see how they played that card. And here's the thing. I personally think it's unethical behavior. It does happen. And what can I say? When it comes to real estate, I suppose all is fair in love and war. Now, I had some words with this particular realtor, but I'll save it for the very end of this little video. So, had ongoing dialogue with my seller about this particular situation, and we weighed the pros and cons of putting the house back on the market. I even went back to the other offers we had received, the other really good offers. Remember, we accepted the third best offer, not the top offer. So I went back to the top offer number 1, top offer number 2, and even went to offer number 4 and number 5. And they had all already moved on and purchased other properties. So that means any of the buyers that we had 2 weeks before after all of the offers we had received and created all of this market hype and action and activity around this house, those top buyers were now gone. So we would literally have to start over again. It'd be like saying, hey, here's this beautiful iPhone X, and then taking it off the market and then trying to come back a month later and fool people into believing it was like the first time they'd seen it. Well, you can't fool a market when there's so much technology available on the internet. People are very well informed. So we worked with the buyer and we made concessions to their requests for repairs on their inspections. By the way, and I'm just gonna make this personal because real estate, it's personal. Their request for repairs was ridiculous. Nonetheless, we didn't want to put the house back on the market, and we made new contract terms regarding the purchase price in lieu of repairs for the inspection items, and we moved on to the appraisal. Now, mind you, the appraisal only had to come in for half of the contracted purchase price, because remember, they were putting 50% down payment. So the appraisal came in $15,000 under the contracted sale price. And guess what happened? The buyer's agent and the buyer retraded us once again. So now they're coming back and saying, even though we have signed paperwork right here that says we don't care about the appraisal, we don't care what it comes in at, they don't even have an appraisal writer to the contract, but they have to do an appraisal to get the loan for the second 50% of the sale price. They came back to us and said, we're not buying this house unless the seller lowers the purchase price of the home to the appraised value. So guess what? Now, the offer from this buyer that was number one that we accepted because of this no appraisal, and in combination with the fact that we made a financial remedy to the tune of $7,000, ridiculous, for inspections, their offer was not only not even number one anymore, their offer wasn't even in the top 5. So, the lesson learned here is not that we wouldn't have accepted their offer to begin with, because we would do it again. But if you're a seller and you're selling your home, you do not have to deal with unethical people and unethical real estate agents. And I will let you know, as I stare deeply into this camera, that my last conversation with that agent was that I told him that I felt like him and his buyer were unethical, and I told him to lose my number, never call me, and never do business with me ever again. So, not a very sober, or not a very happy ending to a very sober story, but this is life in the real estate world. And as long as I've been in business, I'm still learning lessons and learning new strategies on not only how to win, but how to combat whenever other people, including real estate agents, want to intentionally go into a real estate transaction in lambskin, but in fact, they are a wolf. And they will do anything and behave on any unethical level to get their way. Long episode today, like I said. I hope you stuck in there for the whole thing. Would love to hear any of your comments below. I hope the agent that did this is watching. Love you guys. See you next week.